I have my 80B, I'm sorry, 80B test panel fired up this morning, or at least it's on its little tripod. And the reason that is because there is a big house MPU that a local fella brought by for alkaline corrosion abatement and checkout. And he also brought the driver board, which I always encourage because these MPS U45 transistors, or sometimes they're labeled NDS U45, and there was an aftermarket called Central, company called Central. They made CEN U45s that Ed at Great Plains Electronics used to sell, but all of these are long since obsolete. I have quite a few of them in stock. If anybody needs them, happy to supply those. The MPS A13 is not so far obsolete. You can still find those. There's 3 2N6043s on this driver board. 1, 2, 3. Those can be replaced with tip 102s if you ever need to. And these 3 CAN transistors are 2N3055s. They're obsolete also. I still have a few of those. The big problem with 80A and 80B is this interconnect harness. Corrosion sometimes gets into it. Corrosion gets down onto the fingers. This is where the playfield switch matrix comes in, and this is the cabinet switch matrix. Let's boot it up. I'm going to show you the boot on this fabulous Lizzie 80B display that I've got here. And you can see it is booted up and it says FP, free play. I have McZonk, Pinsider McZonk's free play hack installed on this board. And you enable that by turning, I believe it's dip switch 16 on. Don't quote me on that though. Driver board it's driving the lamps in attract mode. That seems correct, but we will go through all the tests. I've got my pre-Pennytech switch matrix tester, and I'm going to start diagnostics by pressing that button. And I'm going to skip through all the audits to get to lamp test. And we'll see these go through one at a time. You might have noticed that 2 of these last blue ones go in reverse order. I don't know why Pascal put those on the board in that order. It's just the way it is. I thought about rewiring the board, but then I thought, nah, I don't think so. Okay, we're into solenoid test now. Game automatically advanced to that, and you can see there are a lot of solenoids that are driven by under playfield transistors there because they repurpose some of the lamp drive circuits to drive the under playfield transistors. And that was all the solenoid tests, so this driver board is in great shape. Let's jump to switch matrix test. Going through the diagonal of the switch matrix, which proves that all all rows and all columns are working correctly. And the next test is the dip switches, and that is Echo 2, Echo 7, 0, 3, Charlie 2, and that is correct. Now we go to display test. I wish you could see this Lizzie display panel in real life. The video here is washing out the beauty of these blue display blocks that are on there. And memory test is testing the 5101, and the PROM checksum is displayed there. And we are good to go. Back to lamp test. So this board's good to go. I installed a battery holder for a 2032 coin cell battery And on the back of the board, there's a blocking diode that goes from the bottom terminal of the battery holder to this through hole where the old battery was, with the banded side of the 1N 4004 pointed toward the edge of the board. Always replace these 100 microfarad filter caps that are on the input side. This is an radial cap. Originally it was an axial, but 100 microfarad axial caps are going the way of the dodo bird. Also installed one of my custom U2, U3 boards. Ed was making these at Great Plains Electronics for a long time, but he's closed up shop quite some time ago, so I made my own board. My board uses a single gate inverter rather than a whole 7404, in which only one gate is used. I did have to socket the 6502 because some of the corrosion had gotten onto this trace, which leads up under the 6502. So if you're going to abate corrosion, you better abate it correctly, because it will come back if you don't get every last bit of it. And I have done that in this case. And you can see that I've scraped the whole reset section and used the equivalent of a Dallas Maxim 1811. And that is all documented in the pin wiki, and I'd invite you to use this technique. It works out very well. So thank you so much. Pretty soon the client is going to be hearing, blow the bridge. We gotta get out of this place. Big house is a fun game.